Snap to Shador. Backpedals. Sets. Throws it downfield into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! That ball was thrown beautifully. The second strike of the night from Shador to Travis. A touchdown pass of 22.
Well, for the 7th time in a row, the Colorado Buffaloes have won the Rocky Mountain Showdown. They knock off CSU here at Canvas Stadium. First time the Buffs had played here in Fort Collins since 1996. 28-9, your final score. Coach Gary Barnett, voice of the boss Mark Johnson. Well, coming back from Lincoln, things were a bit rough. Nice little feel-good here tonight.
Yeah, Mark, this is one of those games where CU had to win the game. And much like we talked before the North Dakota State game, we needed to win that game. We didn't need to win it by 10 points. It didn't make any difference. We needed to win it. Well, this was the same kind of game. After last week, this team needed to get a win. And I don't think it could have been a close win. It could have been a big win. We needed to win, and then I think we can go on from there. I think we had to shut the door on that Nebraska game by winning a game here, and we did. And we did it, in fine fashion. I mean, we were solid on both sides of the ball. Kicking game was okay. It probably hasn't been what we need it to be as we progress, because as our schedule goes on from here now, every game is going to be huge. And I think it's just good for our psyche that we were able to come out and win this game, especially the fact that we could put some running yards on the scoreboard. We get some touchdown, we get interceptions, get some turnovers, which we haven't done. We sort of proved to ourselves that we can be a complete team.
Buffaloes did 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, one by Travis Hunter, one by Preston Hodge, also a forced fumble and recovery by Levante Bentley. Getting those was big in this ballgame. They rushed for over 100 yards for the first time this season. A little bit of a slow start. I said to you in the postgame on radio, I said, you're a coach, you're going to get criticism. Pat Shermer took some heat last week after Nebraska. You thought he called a pretty good game and had a nice game plan of this
I
one.
really did. I think they came out and they tried to run the ball, and they both sides just sort of were feeling each other out. And it wasn't the intense battle that I think we all thought we were going to see in the first quarter. And then I think we just found a way to get our playmakers the ball. I think our offensive line gave Shador plenty of time. I think they were testing each other. And the other thing is, when you come out and run the ball right away, and even though you don't have success, the other side knows you're going to run the ball. And so now you're not one-dimensional. So I think he set himself up nicely, Pat did, for the rest of the game.
By the way, Travis Hunter, he had 13 receptions, 100 yards, his 4th consecutive 100 receiving yard game, going back to last year. First Buff to ever do that. Also had an interception, had a pass breakup in this ball game. We were saying, I think he cleaned the field up afterwards, delivering popcorn. I mean, he was doing everything. I'm not even sure what to say about him anymore.
He's a unicorn. That's all he is, and he's a great player. He's got great instincts.
Baylor next week, opening up Big 12 conference play.
Yeah, big game because it's Big 12, and it's us jumping into this league all of a sudden makes this a really important game for us, I think.
Now we bring in our sideline reporter, Andy Lindholm. You were down there in the field. Electric atmosphere, I think, in this ball game. Don't you think? By the way, a canvas record 40,099 people here for this ball game. What was it like down there sideline?
Beginning of the game was loud and raucous, and a few people let me know they didn't care for me, but that was okay. Same thing with the Buffs. But
by the way, nobody likes you. We all know that.
Yeah, but normally they're a little nicer about it. This was pretty blatant. No, it was a great atmosphere here, a lot of fun. They do it right. Very cool setting at the beginning of the game, perfect temperatures, and then the Buffs just kind of quietly, you probably noticed it during the call. It got quieter and quieter every quarter as we went along.
Colorado had a little bit of a slow start on the offensive end. What were you seeing on the sideline, field level, as they began to kind of find some traction out there?
What I saw, I almost wanted to say this during the broadcast, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to have the classic broadcaster jinx. It felt like Colorado remembered, yeah, we're the team with the Big 12 players. We're the team with the bigger athletes. I felt like Colorado's offensive line started to impose their will a little bit on the defensive line for CSU. And frankly, I think it started by actually running the ball, consistently running the ball. Mark, I think you could see it from up top. There was a size difference there. And Jordan Seaton in particular was just swallowing his man up. they got in a flow. I think they finally found their rhythm on the offensive line, and that calmed Shador down, and I think everything just flowed from there.
You know, it's amazing. Shador has been spectacular during his career. He had another 4-touchdown game here today. Went over 300 yards passing in this ballgame. It's amazing what happens when you give him some time, and he's got that opportunity to survey and find his man.
Yeah, and we got to talk to LeJohntay Webster after, and I asked him, what did you see? And he goes, well, I knew the middle would be open. I knew the speed would catch up and we'd be able to run through there, which eventually they did in the secondary. And so everything, again, the athleticism of what CU has finally took over, and I don't know that it even did in North Dakota State, Mark. It finally did tonight.
No doubt about that. Buffaloes were impressive here tonight. They get a 28-9 victory. Now you get Big 12 conference play, and you come out of non-conference slates at 2-1. Would you like to be 3-0? Certainly. You know, but 2-1 right now, you feel pretty good. You get the victory with Baylor coming to town this weekend.
What has Coach Prime talked about? Let's get bowl eligible. Bowl eligible, bowl eligible, bowl eligible. If you can go and handle business against Baylor, to your point about the record, you'd be 3 wins in, halfway to your goal, and you'd just be starting Big 12 play. That'd be pretty fantastic.
I think so. Buffaloes next week. The Baylor Bears are in town. That's a 6 o'clock game. It's homecoming. All sorts of activities around it, obviously, all weekend long, as the Buffs will take on the Bears at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Gary, Andy, and I will hit the air at 4 o'clock with the Buffalo Stampede pregame show. Come and see us. Our first hour will be on Dwayne Field next week as the Buffs get the win 28-9. They win for the 7th consecutive time over the Rams in the Rocky Mountain Showdown, and Buff Nation is celebrating.